Hello, in this session I will be giving you a basic introduction to the library's website. I will explain how to get there and then point out and briefly describe major elements on our homepage, such as the Discover search, the library catalog, and databases. We'll also take a look at how to access your library account, so you can look at things such as items you have borrowed, recalls or holds, fines, and favorites. And then we'll be wrapping things up with a look at where you can go to get help with your research, or if you need assistance while you're there on the library's website. To access the library website is very easy. It's a very easy to remember web address. It's just the UT Dallas address, so utdallas.edu, and then add /library, and that will bring you to our homepage. If you're on the university's homepage, utdallas.edu, you will see that we are also linked on that page. But essentially, just add /library to the UT Dallas address, and that will bring you into our page. I would urge you to bookmark it as well. Once you are on the library's homepage, you will notice that it defaults to a Discover search. The tab is grayed, and then it has a search blank waiting for you to enter keywords, authors, what have you there. Discover you can think of as a Google-like all-in-one search of the library's resources covering books and ebooks, journals and the articles contained within, electronic database content, whatever form that takes, government documents, media both online and physical, and much, much more. Discover covers all formats of information, both physical and electronic. I will be demonstrating a search of Discover in a later video. Next to that, you will see a tab for the library catalog. The catalog you can think of as a more pared down and limited version of the Discover search. It primarily focuses on books and ebooks owned by the library, so this is a better option when searching just for books. That said, it also inventories several other types of information. You can use the library catalog to search for government documents, both federal and state of Texas, electronic and physical. It also covers print and electronic journals. Keep in mind that it only goes by journal title, does not go down to article level, which is what your Discover search will do. It also covers other formats of information such as physical media. I will talk about searching the library catalog in more detail in a later video. Then, fourth tab down you will see is for our online databases. Think of these as specialized search engines, sort of like Google, except for paid subscription content. Databases are primarily used to access articles, both from peer-reviewed or academic journals, as well as from popular or non-academic journals, such as magazines and newspapers. Many databases are subject-focused, which makes them ideal for saving time and keeping your research narrowed to a particular topic or discipline, as opposed to doing an all-in-one everything in the kitchen sink search like the one that you can do with Discover. Besides these subject-focused databases, others are limited or focused in other ways, such as those that focus on a particular time period, an information format. So for example, we've got streaming video databases, those that digitize newspapers and so on. Yet other databases cover a particular information type. For example, we've got some databases that focus strictly on primary sources, while others just cover secondary sources. Like with Discover and the library catalog, I will talk about our databases, in particular the ones that I would recommend for historical research, in a later video. Next, I want to cover a small but significant housekeeping detail, which is accessing your library account. I've returned to the library's default homepage and default search, the Discover search. And what you want to look for here is underneath that search box is the Login to My Account link. Click on that. It will redirect you to another page where it is doing the Discover search, and you want to go to the upper right corner to the Sign In. Click on that, and it will bring up the single sign-on, asking for your NetID and password, just like you would access your e-learning account or your student email. And right now I'm just using a password manager to save time, and that's filling it out, and I will click Login. And now, instead of just a blank or guest default user in the upper right corner, you should see it filled out with your name. The drop-down menu, once you open that up, allows you to access your account. You can see what items you have on loan, if you placed any requests, or what some people know as holds on any items. You can look at those as well, and you can even look at any fines that you have. So I'm going to go into my account just very quickly. So this is a dashboard that shows everything in an overview at once. So there we have my loans that I have right now. If I were wanting to renew items, then I can use the Renew All button, or if I look at all of my loans and have those on display, then I can renew individual items as well. If something is not eligible for renewal, then it will have a padlock on it. And remember that this is just listing any physical items. Ebooks don't count. Requests, I can look at anything that I've placed on hold via the library catalog. Fines and fees, hopefully you do not accrue any of those, but should that happen, this is where you can go to check on those, and back on the library's homepage is an option to pay for those online. Sometimes, depending on your status, or if you have too many things that have gone overdue for too long, you might have a block on your account. Last but not least, I do like to point out that when you go to the drop-down, another very important feature is the My Favorites button, which is also indicated by a push pin icon. As you're using the library's local search tools, which would be the Discover search and the library catalog, keep in mind that the URL that is generated in your browser bar will only work for that current session. You can't save that and then use that later on. It's going to generate an error message. So in order to save things as you're searching Discover or the catalog, you will see a little icon beside each item that is a little push pin button. You can click on that, and then it will save it to your favorites. So that is a good way of managing your research as you go along using those tools, and then you can save those, compile them into lists. You can even add tags to various items. So I've got quite a few that I have amassed in my favorites area. So to make kind of more sense of that and to organize them, I have added labels or tags to each of those items. So don't forget the Your Account button. When you're on our home page, just look under Discover, log into My Account, and log in, see what you've got checked out, see if you have any fines, and access your favorites as well. And finally, I want to talk about where you can go on our site to get in touch with someone to help you with your research, to report if something is down or not working for you, you need help finding a book, and so on. You may have noticed that when you're on our site, there's a little chat box that is over on the right-hand side. Occasionally, if you sit idle long enough on our site, it will actually pop open and ask if you require help. I'm just going to click on that now. Now you can talk to us anonymously or put in your name, and then you will be live chatting with a librarian or one of our staff members. We do not have this going 24 hours, so should it be down, you can leave us an offline message and we will get back to you the next day. We accept questions not just weekdays, but on weekends as well. So you are talking to a live human being there. It is not a bot. So feel free to avail yourself of the chat function. If you've got a big research project going and you're finding that you're just encountering a lot of difficulty doing your research, you're welcome to book an appointment with a librarian. You will notice on the right-hand side of the page, in that white column at the very top, is the Meet with the Librarian button. Here you can schedule a one-on-one meeting with the librarian, and depending on the subject that you're researching and the availability of librarians, we will do our best to line you up with the appropriate subject specialist librarian. At this moment, we are just doing live online video one-on-one meetings. But in the future, under different circumstances, you can also use this for live in-person meetings. And finally, you will see throughout the library's website in the navigation bar, there's a little question mark icon besides the link that says, "How can we help?" And if you click on that, that has a handy FAQ with our most frequently asked questions. You can find answers to a lot of your questions there should we happen to be offline and you need help. But over on the right-hand side is the Ask a Librarian link, and that gives you our hours of availability, phone numbers, hours of operation, and so on. I will say that for now, while we are sheltering in place and do not physically have the building open, honestly, the best options for getting help are to use the chat button that you see throughout our site, or the Meet with a Librarian button to then book a video conference with us. One way or another, though, if you require help, we are here to give that to you. So, to recap, this was a quick and basic introduction to the library's website. Easy to access it, just the utdallas.edu address/library. It defaults to your all-in-one Google-like Discover search. We also pointed out the library catalog, mainly used for searching for books. Databases are where you'll go for more subject-focused searching, primarily within journals, both academic and non-academic. We also talked about how to access your library account. And if you need help with anything, you've got the chat button, Meet with the Librarian, and How Can We Help?